What was that other one where he was it the bad?
The bad son?
The
good son.
The good son. That was another where they were just trying to change him. He should have just been what he was.
Little Elisha Wood was in that one, too.
Sorry to interrupt the show. Erock, can I please have the banana and the low-fat cottage cheese that I usually get? Thanks.
Yeah.
It's a new system.
It's a great system, by the way.
Yeah.
Jimmy's not happy about the new system that we just became aware of.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened?
Apparently...
We should discuss this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No. From now on, when I want food... I'm not allowed to text. Guess what I normally do? I'll usually just text Kenny and he'll talk to.
That's what I would do, yeah.
He would ask Sal to get it because Sal is the guy that we trusted and he wouldn't fuck it up. But I don't know what happened behind the scenes. But now Kenny's not allowed to ask the interns because I guess Sal didn't like going, only be the only going. So now we have to go through Erock. And then somebody went and told Gary and Gary came down. So I'd love to know who snitched to Gary and who went to Gary.
Erock, what do you know?
Why do people have to drag those guys into
I don't know.
Here? Can't we just handle it internally amongst the show members?
Well,
We don't want Gary involved in anything.
So I want to know who went and ratted to Gary.
And I don't know why Sam's laughing. These are facts. Why is it funny?
because he runs the channel.
But he's proven time and time again that we don't want him involved. He just makes things more complicated, more layers of shit.
It's funny.
Why is it funny? It's real.
I know it's real. That's why it's
speak
so
real
funny.
shit.
That's why it's so funny.
Let's not make believe that
Speaking
he's
the truth.
important to us.
Yeah.
What do you got, Erock?
Well, Sal was doing a lot of work here for the show, production wise and what have you. But he was also being the go-to guy for going and getting coffee, breakfast, all that other stuff. When we got some other interns in here who were perfectly capable of doing so and not screwing up the food orders, they weren't being used. So Sal got upset that he was in the middle of projects for Troy, for us, and stuff on the air, and the other interns weren't allowed to be going and getting your food and whatnot. So he complained. He talked to me, and I spoke with Kenny. Past that point, Sal spoke with Travis about this same issue, and then from there, it was out of my hands.
So who went and ratted to
Pass
Gary?
the buck.
That I don't know because I didn't speak to Gary.
What happened?
Well, who did? Why would anybody I'm not even shitting on Gary, but like, why? That's not necessary.
No. Well, the problem is that Kenny just wouldn't let any of the other interns.
The reason Kenny wouldn't let
Get
other
the food.
interns, honestly, here's why. Because we've had a history of interns fucking up our food.
And it sucks.
Every time we have interns who fuck the food up, and then you usually find one guy that you trust to do that who does it right. It might, for them, it's nothing. But for us as on air, I want someone who's not going to fuck my food up and who I kind of trust to handle it. It's not the most complicated shit, but how many bits have we done on guys who just are incompetent and retarded and can't get the fucking food right?
Can't get it right. And it's a timing issue also because when the food gets here and it's right, we know that an hour goes by, it's break time. The worst thing is when it fucks up and then the food gets here and you're in the middle of the show and it gets cold or we're eating on the air. It's just, it's got to work like clockwork.
Did we try the new guys, though, before we realized they were incompetent?
We did after the fact, and they've been fine getting your food, getting your coffee.
Okay, so who went to Gary? What was the purpose of that? Fucking snitching to Gary.
Travis, what do you know?
Anyone?
I know
You're sitting
that.
there. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Well, look, I mean, all I heard was that Sal was getting really frustrated being the only person to go out. He went to Erock because Erock's his intern boss. And I know that Erock spoke with Kenny, and then I know that it continued to happen, and Sal was frustrated that he was going out 5 times in a row without other interns going out at all. And, we have new guys who are completely capable. Nobody's had any problems with these new guys.
Oh, boy.
I'm not asking that. I understand that. I'm asking who went to Gary. And
I went to Gary.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Why?
Because the situation was not being taken care of on Erock's end. Erock did what he was asked to do, which was speak to Kenny. I am not in charge of the interns because of things. So it goes from Erock to Gary. I am not involved at all.
Okay. So then why would you go to Gary, not Erock going to him? Not that matters, but I'm just curious.
That's just what I did.
Okay.
I had no.
Terrific. Good. Okay, just curious.
What's the issue though?
No issue whatsoever. None. Was just curious.
Okay.
So now I'll just order from you, Erock, because... Good.
No, that's not what you have to do. You can keep doing what you were
I'm
doing.
not texting Kenny. Why would I? That's how I do it on the air. I just text him, and when I want something, and he has somebody go and get it. It's just whatever.
And it's been working for the last like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's been fine.
Right. And this has been going on for the last 3 weeks. So
Okay.
so
Well,
there's no
then
reason.
it's a good thing you went to Gary and got it straightened out. Excellent.
Okay. I guess we would have just let it continue.
Or handle it yourself.
We tried to handle it ourselves.
Did Kenny muscle you or grab you?
No, I didn't have anything to do with Kenny because like I said, this is not my department. Like this doesn't concern me, and I've been told.
Kenny, did you ignore what Erock told you?
Now, Travis just said we tried to handle ourselves. Could he just expound on that a little?
Eric tried.
Right.
Sorry, not me.
Eric, what happened? Sal was frustrated that he had to do all the getting of food, right?
Yeah, because
So then you went to Kenny and said,
and
what?
I spoke with Kenny, and Kenny had expressed to me that he likes Sal doing that job. He didn't want to, he didn't know the other guys. He didn't want your food, and everything screwed up. And I had talked to Kenny. I said, look, they haven't even really tried it, but they followed Sal. They know the routine. They know the orders. We can start using these other guys. A couple days go by, and then Sal comes to me again. The other guys are still not being sent. So I have, from that point on,
Kenny, why did you ignore that?
Eric, let me refresh your recollection.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be more correct to say that the morning you told me about this nonsense, all right, I adhered to what you said, all right? And maybe Travis, I'll refresh your recollection also, all right? Because not a few minutes after that, Jim wanted his second cup of coffee, okay? And
This makes me sound very needy.
I gave my credit card to Travis. And Travis, isn't it correct that you sent Sal for the coffee that morning?
That is correct.
Okay. And not an hour after that happened, I'm getting a talking to.
By
Right?
who?
By Gary. And then I went to Eric. And I asked Eric who the little tattletale snitch was. And Eric, who did you tell me it was?
I told you that Sal had talked to me, and Sal was the one complaining about this.
No. I asked you who was the tattletale snitch to Gary. And who did you say it was?
I don't know.
You're not going to
No,
get
you do know,
Hold
Eric.
on. You're not going to get around this because Kenny was a detective.
I'm not trying to.
You're making it worse. Just answer his question.
I'm trying to here.
He's not.
I know
gonna-
you're trying to, but don't try. Just do it. You know the answer. You said it already.
Wait, you're asking who went to Gary, and Travis went to Gary.
No. Listen, don't try to fucking deflect and convolute this thing.
not.
You understand perfectly. All right? After I got my talking to, I asked you who the little fucking cheese eater was. And who did you tell me it was?
1955.
What, you're saying I did?
Eric, all right? Stop playing stupid. You're not that dumb.
Kenny, I don't care about any of this. I'm
All right,
trying
if
to
you don't
work
care,
with you
then
here
just
on
tell the
this.
truth. You don't want to say because the guy's standing right next to you.
I said Sal early, and you said no.
Was that Erock?
Oh yeah.
Sounded like a
Erock is
girl.
heated.
Look, I'm not trying to cause a fucking problem here. I tried to diffuse everything. Because this is bullshit over who gets your food. I've seen interns fuck shit up. And I know these other two guys that we have here wouldn't have been a problem because they're not idiots.
Hold on, let's stop right there.
I like this version of Erock.
I'm not trying to fuck
Wouldn't it
with
be
Kenny
fair
in
to
any
say,
amount.
Eric,
Yeah.
that when the new interns started going for the talent food, they made mistakes?
I don't. Well, they didn't have napkins or something. It was something really
Okay,
small.
that was one mistake.
In Kenny's world, that's a big mistake, by the way.
Okay.
Just so people know.
Well, then, you know what,
who are
Kenny? I
listening
don't
out there.
remember the other mistake.
No,
Please
you
tell
do
me.
remember. You just don't want to say.
No
No,
napkins?
because I don't think about this stuff.
What,
in
they
that-
came back with
that
no
in depth.
napkins? Don't we have napkins around here, though?
Oh, we have paper towels.
And that's not good enough?
No, they'll suffice, but
But we need
paper
napkins.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And what was the second one?
I don't know. It's probably like there wasn't a spoon or a cup of ice didn't have a lid on it or something.
But the bottom line is they made mistakes. That's why one intern who had a position of honor and trust turned out to be a little crybaby.
Where's Sal today?
Sal's in here.
So what? Sal, get on mic, man.
Come here.
Explain it from your
You want him
point
in
of
there or here?
No. Keep him in there.
Sal, stay here.
No, I don't care. I was just fucking around.
All right, go in.
Erock.
I just want to hear in Sal's words what was going on. Hello, Sal.
Morning.
Nick should have won that game last night, huh?
Here comes the
Actually,
prima donna. I mean, here comes Sal.
You see Pierce's shot at the end?
I actually only saw
Madonna.
the highlights. I didn't get to actually watch the game.
Oh, you're not a fan then.
I know. I'm
All
not.
right, so what's happening here? What happened?
I don't know.
Just be honest. I don't care.
No, I mean everything that was said so far is completely honest. So it's there's nothing to straighten out. I mean, if Eric wanted to say that I was the one who went to Gary, whatever. Eric's done enough for me to help me over the time I've been here, so it's fine.
How much time were you
Wait, did you go to
spending-
Gary?
I didn't. No,
I already said I went to Gary.
Oh,
because
yeah,
the
Travis went to
situation wasn't
Gary.
being taken
How much
care of.
time were you spending going?
And there's
and
nothing that
getting
I can
food?
do.
Honestly, there are days where I probably did like 7 runs, and then I would still have the work that was given to me prior to then to complete. And then it's like, well, why wasn't this done? It's like, well, let's see, I haven't sat down since I got here at 5:30. It's 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, well, Kenny, would you like to retort?
Well, I'm still confused by the timeline if Travis says he went to Gary. I was wondering when that was.
I don't have a specific date. I'm sorry.
All right, but do you recall the morning when you came to get my credit card for Jimmy's second cup of coffee?
Yes, I do.
And I said Eric gave me a talking to and Sal can't go?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And then you sent Sal anyway, and then
Yes, I did.
not an hour later, I got my talking to by Gary, and then I brought that to your attention.
Yes.
And then you did the right thing and stood up, and you told me that you were going to take the blame.
Well, there was no blame to take. I sent Sal, and I told Gary that.
All right. So is that the time you're talking about that you went to Gary,
No,
or
I
was
believe
it a time before that?
I believe I told him the day before.
Okay. And as a result of that, what happened?
As a result of my talking to Gary,
Yeah.
I think Gary had a talking with you, right?
Well, Eric had to talk to me first.
Okay, well then that's what happened. But no, I told you that you erroneously got blamed for or it was insinuated that you sent Sal after you were told not to.
Correct.
And you can ask Gary. I told Gary I sent Sal because we had nobody else.
Then why did Gary go and talk to Kenny? Or
That was
or-
before.
Before what?
Wait, it sounds like this thing could have been solved internally, but Kenny kept sending Sal after
No,
what
that's
Erock
incorrect.
said.
That's
Okay.
incorrect.
Oh shit!
Erock, is that true or false?
I spoke with Kenny, but yeah, because Sal did come complain a second time after that. Because after I spoke with Kenny, and then Sal had said that he was still being sent on food runs.
And Kenny, you didn't want to take a chance with the new guys?
No, that's incorrect. Once Eric told me that somebody cried about being mistreated.
Sal, he's in the room.
I was bawling in the office, dude. I couldn't take it.
Obviously.
Oh boy.
So Sal was crying like a little bit, according to Kenny, but Sal is saying differently.
Yeah, maybe not literally, but figuratively.
Figuratively, okay. Were you crying like a bitch, Sal?
It was terrible.
You just didn't want to do 7 food runs a day?
Look, at the end of the day, yes, I'm honored and I'm flattered that I was able to be accepted by Kenny and took on this privilege of being able to get you guys stuff, and rightfully so. Like, if you guys,
Sounds sarcastic.
no, I'm
Was
not
that
being sarcastic. No, I'm being serious. If you guys want something, there's absolutely no fucking reason in this world why any of you guys shouldn't get it and get it correct and get it as fucking humanly as fast as possible.
Well, there obviously is because you complained about it.
Oh,
Well, because all right.
But so
He just wanted to
By
go
the way,
less.
anybody in management, I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
we are instigating this discussion on air. So I don't want to hear anybody in fucking management come and tell me, well, that kind of thing. This is on air, and it's
Oh,
instigated
yeah.
by us to be
Please.
discussed on air. Because that shit that festers behind the scenes, it winds up blowing up eventually in one way or the other. So we are bringing this to the air. So nobody in management go and complain because Kenny and Sal are fucking doing this on the air. This was me. I instigated this.
Yeah, because I was also once told I'm not allowed to stir shit up on the radio. If there's a problem, I have to
Well, that's-
tell the bosses.
Well, that's why I don't have any respect for Gary.
It wasn't Gary that told him that.
Well, I've heard it. I've heard it over the years. Gary doesn't want to be fodder for this radio show, and I told him the other day that he needs to quit if he doesn't want to be fodder for the radio show. I guess I should bring that up today. Wow. I said because who said wow? I did. Jesus, Sam, what's wrong with you? You corporate fucking douche. Start wearing a tie.
You really
What's
should.
wrong with you?
And then tie
Why
the
is
other end
that
to
a wow?
beam.
Why is that a wow?
It's not a bad. It's not a bad wow. It's just like wow.
I've been doing
that's-
radio since 18. I don't need guys like Gary in my life.
I know, but
And I told him, I go, look, everyone that has ever worked for the Opie and Anthony show, peripheral, in studio, what have you, has been fodder for our show. That's why we've been successful, one of the reasons. And he's trying to be part of this whole thing and not be fodder. And I told him it's impossible and that he should quit.
I agree with you 100%, and I appreciate. I agree with you, but generally in Gary's life, I'm assuming not a lot of people have been so blatant about their disapproval of his job, which is why I think it's funny.
He's the wrong guy.
Yeah.
I told him to his face.
Yeah.
And I told him tough shit. I go, tough shit. Here's your decision. You can continue working for the channel. I don't want you to, but at least allow us to use. At least allow us to discuss you openly on the show. But it's not about me. It's
No.
about the whole food thing.
And look, I don't
I
consider.
heard Sam's little stupid wow in the background.
Believe me, I don't consider getting our food to be an honor. It's not. We're not that
No,
arrogant.
it's a Jimmy,
I'm
horrible job.
speaking to what anybody said.
horrible, thankless
I
job.
just don't like my
think it's
food
an
getting
honor.
fucked up, and it's been fucked up enough times
Right.
over the years. When you find someone that does it right, you just want that person to do it because I want to eat. Believe me, I don't look at it like it's the equivalent of fucking bringing JFK his coffee in the morning. I understand that.
But Kenny, it is an honor, right? In the end.
It sure is, GH.
Oh God! Ugh.
So where are we at? Sal just didn't want to go 6-7 times a morning.
Well, it's
Which
just
I
was
understand
also-
a little bit.
I was also doing additional work. It's not like I was just
Whose work?
getting. I mean,
The show's work.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of production. I mean, I've had close to 50-something productions get on air, and that doesn't happen that easily. I don't have that much time to work on this stuff. So
And I think Travis went to Gary because he felt like he had no
Well,
choice.
I can't do anything.
No, I know. You felt like you had no choice because you thought Erock was taking care of the situation
Yeah.
by saying, "Look, Sal doesn't want to do it as much, so Kenny, you got to give these new guys a chance."
My question
I'm
is,
just throwing the facts out there.
If Kenny, I'm just asking, if Kenny, why did Gary talk to Kenny after he had given and said to you like, hey, look, give it. Sal can't go. Give it to somebody else, and you gave it to Sal. Why did Gary still come to
That's a
Kenny?
good point to clarify, Jim. If Eric, who tasked Eric to speak to me if Gary was going to speak to me also?
Oh shit, Eric.
Eric, Erock, comment, question. What?
No,
Well?
I have to talk to Kenny because I'm in charge of the interns. So when they have problems, and it's starting to get to the point where like this is really going to escalate if we don't do something about it, I have to talk to Kenny.
And you felt like Kenny didn't hear you because he continued to use Sal.
That's not true.
I'm
maintain-
asking Erock though,
No,
from where he sits, and then you could certainly say it's not true.
I know one time I talked with Kenny, he wasn't happy about it, but he made his point, which is what you guys have been saying. When you find somebody good who handles your stuff and doesn't screw it up, that's the guy we use. Understood. But Sal had been doing more and more production and turnaround stuff that was getting on the air, and we had two other guys who aren't idiots, perfectly capable of doing the same thing. And I
From
said,
that
Kenny,
hard to
we
believe.
got to start using these other guys. Kenny did not want to use these other guys.
Oh boy, Kenny, that's
But-
what he's saying.
I spoke with him, and I thought everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, you know, I hear from Sal again. Sal's getting pissed off because he's still going on food runs. And the other guys aren't being used.
And can I just say one thing? I said I would still go for food runs. It's not like I won't do them at all. I'm too much of a fucking dickhead prima donna to not go.
You just wanna do it less.
reduce it a little bit. Like I can't go out 7 times and still get anything
And a lot
else
of
done.
it was assumed you went to Gary, but you did not.
No, I didn't. And look, I honestly don't give a shit that Eric said that I went to Gary because, like I said, Eric's helped me out so much over this time.
Well, why
so.
would Eric lie?
That's he's not me, so I can't speak.
So
for
is Eric a liar?
I'm not calling Eric a liar. I'm just saying that it's fine. I said it's fine, and because I'm just an intern, I'm a pissing whipping boy. That
Eric, are you a liar?
I'm not lying on any
I
of
don't
this,
know. I don't
no.
think Sal went to Gary. I think he probably went to either Erock or Travis, and Travis saying he went to Gary.
I already said I did. Yeah.
Then
know.
Eric, if that wasn't true, why would you tell me that Sal was the one that told Gary?
Right now, because I said, when you were asking earlier, I said, Travis, no. Sal, no. I said, is it me? And you said no. And he said, he's standing next to you. I said, Sal. I said Sal's name already.
No, we're not talking about today.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
The morning I confronted you.
Okay.
Why did you tell me it was Sal if that was in fact not true?
At that time, I probably thought it was Sal because that morning I was told that I had to speak to you and that all the intern food orders and everything had to be asked to. You had to
Okay,
ask
you
me
just
to do
said
all
you were
that
told you had to speak to me. Told by whom?
by Gary.
And Gary didn't tell you who went to him.
Not
So
at that
my
point.
thing is this: Kenny can't tell an intern we need something. It has to go through Erock.
Which
Right.
that is ridiculous.
Of
The
course it's-
interns
of course
are not
it's
within my
ridiculous.
span of control.
Of course, it's
And
ridiculous.
for the fact that I had to have that conversation with Kenny was ridiculous.
But the fact is that if I text Kenny something, he's got to go to you. It's just so stupid and fucking corporate and idiotic.
Well, that's dumb, Gary.
Exactly.
Sam, shut up. It's funny. Let me be me.
It's funny.
It is dumb, Gary, though. It's another layer of bullshit that we don't need.
all right. Well, can I just say one
Gary
thing?
should have said, all right, well, let's fucking figure this out.
I'd like to make up with Kenny. I'd like to just because this is probably boring to everybody to be quite honest.
Oh no! Oh,
Oh,
dear.
now you're saying
you'd be
Opie and Anthony are
surprised.
boring on
No.
top of
Maybe.
everything.
No, I'm not.
Maybe if he wasn't grabbing food, he would understand radio a little more. This is what they call the gold.
You'd be
I guess-
surprised how many people love.
I guess I don't find myself interesting on air. I'd much rather be doing stuff behind the scenes. Anyway, I'd like to make up with Kenny. I'd like to be everything would be cool again with me and Kenny.
Naked man hugs?
Just a handshake.
It's great. It's going to be just like it was at the beginning. I'll talk to Kenny. I know how to talk to Kenny.
No, I really would because I was also told I'm not allowed to speak to Kenny, and that's just.
Oh,
Who told you you're not allowed to
yeah.
speak
Who
to Kenny?
said that?
Eric said I'm not allowed to speak to Kenny.
Eric.
So
I was requested.
That
to,
makes
to
great
inform
working
him.
environments.
Why isn't Sal allowed to talk?
Wait, he's not
and
allowed-
that's
wait,
been
hold
for a
on,
few weeks,
hold
by the
on.
way.
Why?
Why is he not allowed to talk to Kenny?
Because I was requested to inform Sal that he's not to speak to him or make eye contact or be in his general direction.
Who said that?
Kenny,
Me.
Kenny offered that request.
So, like I said, I'd like to be able to look at Kenny. I'd like to be able to shake his hand, say good
Kenny,
morning
why
to
don't
him.
you want Sal to look at you?
Because he don't like me.
Why don't you like Sal?
I don't like tattletale rats.
So this was after the tattletaling?
Yes.
But he didn't really tattletale in the end.
Well, Eric said he did, so what am I supposed to believe?
It seems
So
like
if
he
I
brought
didn't,
up a
somehow I
concern
am,
to his superior, which, believe it or not, which is the most amazing part of this. Erock is his boss. So he wasn't the guy that went to Gary. He was going to suck it up.
Well, I was under the false belief because I was told by Eric that Sal was the one. I knew it was Sal all along. It wasn't Brazzini.
Brazzini.
Bartzini.
Brazzini.
So you don't have any issue with Sal talking to Erock because that's his superior. So if he has an issue, he can't, you know.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with me.
Okay.
So where are we at? We got to move on to something.
Yeah. I'd like to make up with Kenny and
Is he allowed to look at you, Ken? Now that
It's up to you.
Now that you got all the facts, is Sal allowed to actually look at you in the hallway?
ask Eric.
Eric?
I would say yes, but it's really up to Kenny at this point.
Well, this whole thing, if he's not allowed to talk to an intern, because it could be an HR, like what the fuck is that?
Wait, who said
No, I
that?
think it was
said
Kenny's
HR.
request.
Kenny
that I
just
didn't
didn't
do.
want-
No.
Kenny just didn't
No,
want
Kenny's
to.
not allowed to ask the interns to get us.
Correct. Because when I had my talking to, The talking to was to nip this in the bud before it became an HR issue.
So, is this great?
Whenever you get these fucking guys involved down the hall,
It's
it's
never
just
good.
a fucking
Right.
problem.
We wash our own dirty laundry, Eric.
Doherty?
Yes.
Doherty?
Doherty.
Oh,
Is that a
Doherty laundry.
Was that a mispronounce or is that an old cop thing?
no, it's
No.
mispronounced.
That was
Just
Doherty.
can't speak.
Our own Doherty.
Doherty laundry.
Doherty. All right, and Chavez felt like, it wasn't being done internally, so he went to Gary.
The only reason, let me be incredibly specific here, that I went to my superior was because Eric told me that he had talked to Kenny and that Kenny was still sending Sal. So to me, Eric was not getting the job done. Eric's
Oh.
well,
Well, let me ask you this, Travis, as the boss of the show, the executive producer. You didn't consider coming to me before you went to Gary?
Kenny, I have no control over the interns, and I have been specifically told to stay out of all intern affairs.
But did you talk to Kenny first
No, I didn't.
and tell him, look, I'm going to have to go to Gary with this?
No.
Yeah, that was the question. Why didn't you consider that? You just said you have no control over intern affairs, but yet you still went to Gary over an intern affair.
I went to Gary to tell him about the situation that Eric had brought to me.
Right. Which you could just easily come to me
Well,
first.
Travis is a bit sensitive when it comes to interns.
You should, yeah, but you should have, if you're going to go to Gary, you
The
should have told
interns are
Kenny
the ones that are sensitive.
first, told
Apparently
him.
not, though.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know, there's just something bugs me about that.
Well, okay, how about this? If Eric is in charge of the interns, and Eric asks for Sal's workload to be lowered, then that's Eric's that's Eric's decision, and it should be respected.
Okay, and if it's not respected, then you don't talk to Kenny, you just go to Gary.
Perhaps I made an error in judgment. Maybe I should have gone to Kenny. I am.
choose your words.
I'm very hesitant about anything that has to do with interns after my situation.
I understand that.
Situation. Wow.
So maybe if this were to happen again, I would think differently. But
You didn't want an intern
I did
problem
what I-
to get out
no.
of hand, obviously.
I did
Because of what might have happened in the past.
Yeah.
Well, where are we now?
which still haunts me.
It's still a bit raw.
Yes,
Worst
you
story.
cannot call me the executive producer.
We good now?
I don't have a problem with
How about
anyone.
that?
Jimmy, where you at now?
And Jim, I don't think you should either because the last 3 weeks, everything's been fine, right?
My only issue is just all this Weasley behind the shits. I just hate it. I just hate it.
See, we're untouchable, though. These guys get a lot of fucking heat every day.
We're not untouchable even, I know I can get
Oh,
in
I'm
trouble for I don't
untouchable.
think I am.
I'm
I know
so
I can
untouchable.
get shit.
Because
Like,
even if they say, you know what, fuck you, you're out, I'm still untouchable. But these guys have to fucking, still try to get their careers together and stuff.
I understand that.
They get a lot of fucking heat behind the
And
scenes.
that's my problem is why
And that's why it leads to what you're hearing today. Because these guys get beat up all the fucking time.
all this fucking why would anybody bring him into it? There's no and I'm not knocking. I'm really not shit. If I was shit on Gary, I'd shit on him and I'd have no problem with that. But it's not even about me judging that guy. It's simply why even there's no reason to go down the hall.
No, I understand from a fundamental view, but I know what happens to these guys when we're not here. It's a fucking nightmare. They get in trouble for stuff we bring up on the air because they can't talk.
And that's another
because they can't talk to us like that. They know we're not going to deal with
No.
that shit.
And incidentally, that's another thing with down the hall. I don't like guys being told what they can talk about on air and what they can't be talk about on air.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
but
don't
that's the
like
shit
that
that goes
at
on
all.
all the fucking time.
I think we're a good judge.
They have sat down probably the entire staff at this point, probably, and basically told them do not stir the shit on air.
And this is a fucking 20-hour-a-week radio show.
Which shows me, obviously, going back to my Gary point, that he doesn't get it and he should fucking move on. The company, I heard the company gave him another promotion anyway, so fucking do the music thing, and we'll be good without you, to be honest with you.
Oh, boy.
Because if you don't understand that we got to stir the shit, because it makes good radio, I have no use for you in my life.
And nobody down the hall likes the on-air. Like it's not even just Garrett. It's other guys, too, who just don't like it.
I know.
And it's like, you guys got to understand, you have no say in what we complain about on the air.
You see what they do? They sit these guys down in offices, and they're in a different place in their lives and their careers, and they put pressure on them and go, "Look, we don't want you stirring the shit up."
Well, we don't work for the Opie and Anthony show.
No, I know. So that's where a lot of this comes from. They get fucking beat up. I actually agree with Jimmy, but I'm just trying to explain where it comes from.
No, I understand that.
I've heard from these guys, all of them, personally, that look, these guys beat the crap out of us and tell us not to stir the shit. Why wouldn't you want to stir the shit? It makes way better radio than talking about some who gives a fuck story in the news.
Yeah, this stuff happens, and it's like the only way to. I like to bring it up on the air. I prefer it to be fucking hashed out, and this way it doesn't build up into other situations that just wind up getting out of control. And there's so much fucking resentment and hatred built up behind the scenes. It's irreparable.
So I think Gary needs to step down. Would be a very good start. A very good start. And get someone that, doesn't mind being made fun of on the air and understands what the show is all about.
Right.
I say we start there. Rob will allow it to continue to be an intern.
He's not an intern.
Because he's learning. Someday he's going to be good.
He's just disrespectful.
Any final thoughts here? I hope Sal could look at Kenny. That's my biggest concern.
Somebody Twittered me, diva cunts, get your own breakfast. Sir, it's not an option.
No, it's not. Like, you guys are doing your fucking job, and you should get anything you want at that moment. So, I completely understand.
It makes it tough to just leave and get breakfast. I got breakfast. I got cereal right there. Someone wrote, it all went downhill after English Bob left.
English Bob.
British
Whatever that
Bob,
British
right?
Bob.
All right. Kenny, final thoughts? Eric?
I'm happy to be here. I love you guys.
Not so much Travis, Erock, and Sal, though, huh? At this point?
No, we can all get along.
Whose app is that?
Oh no, this thing stinks.
We'll explain that next.
Fucking stupid shit thing is this.
Can we explain that next? Because that's going to be another 20 minutes, please. All right.
He's still a useless fucking hunk of shit.
I see you set it up on your iPhone. We'll explain next.
Trying.
That'll be a good tease. Hopefully for the people that didn't tune us
Fucking
out.
Einstein.
Eric, incompetent? Or
Yes.
Eric is incompetent? Eric, you all right? How you were represented here today?
I'm fine with that, and I think we should send Rob for food.
For us? It's not a bad idea. What else does he do? What does he do between 6 and 10 that he can't get his food, Sam? Seriously. Rob's the intern.
Well, between 6 and 10, or by the time he gets here till 10?
Exactly.
He listens to the show. He's monitoring, making sure everything's okay, checking the stop sets. Make sure
What do you mean he's monitoring? What is it? We got this. Relax. Go get us some fucking food.
He's got to make sure the spots are in the right spot.
I don't know what these guys do. Someone explain it to me someday.
He's got to make sure the advertisements are in the right.
And Rob, I swear to you, I'm not trashing you. You're going to be a really good manager someday.
You are. That's
Why?
Trashing. That's not a compliment. I guess it's a compliment.
He's still green
Comparatively. But he's been in the business for years.
Oh, this is terrible. This is the worst app.
What does that thing do?
Well,
it's supposed to take some kind of 360 picture, and it stinks.
I'll explain after the break.
Yeah.
That crap. So we're all good. We're all good. Travis, you're good. Jimmy, you're
I'm
good.
fine.
Kenny,
Yes,
everyone.
sir.
Jimmy, thumbs up for Jimmy. Okay. All right, Kirk Cameron, and that thing that Ant just added to his iPhone.
Jesus.
Eddie.
What is this?
All right, what's the problem? Oh boy, what's the problem?